anymore.
Just me and my dog, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
it's good.
It's like
Yeah.
we're fully ready.
Yeah. And my little furry jerks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Trish, could you give us a thumbs up if you can hear us?
5 dogs and 4 cats. It's a
All
little
right.
too much.
2 and 3.
They're like my emotional support crew, so.
And I would go to a lead.
I'm sure. It's cuddle. Yeah. Mine too.
You're not looking at me side eye.
They're such little weirdos.
All right, so without further ado, it's 9 a.m. So we'll go ahead and get started. This meeting of the Grand County Budget Advisory Board. It's October 17th, 9:00 a.m. Those members of the board present are myself, Wojtek, we have Lindsay, Packwell, Gadeen is online, so there are 4 of us to constitute a quorum. We'll see if Kaufman ends up jumping online. I believe that Throgmorton, Martinez, and Winfield won't be attending today. And we are graced with the presence of Commissioner Mike McCurdy. Thanks for being here, Mike. All right, jump right into the agenda. First order of business is the action items, approval of meeting minutes from October 10th. Since it doesn't put us out to push approval of the minutes until the next meeting, and because of the sparse attendance, I would propose that we just skip approval of minutes for today. Are there any objections to that? All right, thank you. So we'll just jump right into our presentations and discussion. Just as before we vault in, I just want to announce I let Carrie Valdez, the library director, and her assistant Meg, I let them know that they can go on after planning and zoning. So they'll go on third, even though they're listed last in the agenda, unless there are any objections from the board. Be making that change to the order of the presentations. So with that being said, we'll jump right into presenting the department budget for the building inspector's office. And here today with us is Lisa Sarah, current representative of the building inspection department. And let's see, I'm gonna blow up the budget here as much as I can. Oh, it's kind of small, isn't it? It's not really helping us. I'll just zoom here and do it this way. Great. All right. Yeah, Lisa, do you want to give us a run through the proposed 2026 draft budget for the building inspector? Thank you.
Really late and prepared. Yeah. Our proposed debt budget is very pared down as it historically has been. It just represents baseline costs needed to run the department. We have an increase of $1,600 in our schooling line to cover required ICC and floodplain manager certificate CEUs. And then also an increase of $3,450 in travel to accommodate those required expenses to obtain the continuing education that we need. Should I go line by line or?
I think you're doing a good job of hitting the high points. If there aren't any changes, like say, for example, subscriptions and memberships, those are things that carry over from year to year. There's not much need to comment on that, and it's well described in the comments.
Yeah, it's pretty well the same except for those minor changes. We run a pretty tight ship.
Yeah, and so this is we're carrying, as far as salary and benefits goes, the figures being carried over for full, assuming full staffing in that department, which currently isn't. And so just pointing that out. And let's see.
And the utilities are being split between planning and zoning, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They shared that building, so we should see that 3250 number in the next budget that we see. And yeah, there's a nice little narrative here that gives an overview of the budget in narrative fashion. I really appreciate that being prepared. Are there any questions from the board regarding the building inspector's budget?
I have a question, Gabe, or it's more, and it's really not specifically, I don't know, like Lisa, are we thinking that we may hire an inspector instead of just having consultants? Like, do you have any thoughts about, where we're gonna go with that department?
I'm really hoping they do. I know the positions are out for hire, but I am not in the loop on that process.
Okay, super. So the goal is maybe to fill in at least one inspector.
I'm hoping so, yeah.
Okay, awesome. That was kind of my only, like, are we just gonna continue with I don't know if you call it a contractor or hopefully fill that position?
They've been checking in with me every couple of months to see where we're at.
Great.
Starla, my counterpart in their offices, actually just reached out yesterday to see about now through the end of the year. Just so they can keep somebody on their rotation. And I told her yes, because there's nothing moving that I'm aware of.
Right. Okay. That's great to know. I've just, obviously I've been having some contractors reach out to me and just trying to kind of get a feel for where we're at.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Yeah, and I can speak, working in the past few years with former building inspector Bill Hulse, that this budget is, very pared down to the very basics that are needed to operate this department. And there's not any dramatic changes in the overall bottom line from this budget from compared to previous years. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Lisa. Appreciate it.
That was pretty good. Good. Suddenly in the hot seat.
Thank you, Lisa.
Welcome.
It's 9:06, Treasurer Kaufman, who's a member of the board, has just entered the meeting. Hi, Chris. And then so we'll move right on to planning and zoning. And right now, we have with us Sean Yates, the acting zoning administrator, and he's here. We did have this up for presentation. I think it might have been the very first budget advisory board meeting. And we had a little mix up with a couple different draft spreadsheets that we were using to build this budget, and I'll take responsibility for the incorrect budget being presented. So we're just kind of running it back. And it may be, maybe nearly as brief as what we just saw or not. Please take all the time you want to talk about this budget. Sean, and I'll let you go.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Thank you.
Yeah, she lost. She's trying to come back.
Right.
Are you good? Can you hear us?
Sorry, I was clicking buttons.
Don't click buttons.
Yeah, don't do that.
All right, well, my name is Sean Yates. I'm primarily the county engineer as well as interim planning and zoning administrator for a short period of time. I hired on in June, and from what I understand, there was somewhat of an exodus in March in the planning and zoning department, and it's been a rewarding experience over the last 4 months to kind of get an idea of what all that entails in the planning and zoning department, as well as the domain department. I guess the biggest dollar amount here of note is probably 2/3 down the sheet there. We have a negative $129,000, $447 dollars, and that's due to the kind of the turbulent nature over the last couple of months in the department. I will say that from what I've observed, Chrissy Hoffheim was stepping in earlier this year. I wasn't here to see that occur, but she definitely made a heroic effort to kind of keep everything glued together between her and Lisa. And I think a big part of that might have been because over the years, the process had developed into, I guess, what could be termed as quite a cumbersome process that required an associated number of positions. And I don't think there's any one or two people that could conceivably run that process the way it's been developed over the years. I think having worked in government for the last 2 or 3 decades, it's interesting how in government we adopt these policies and these procedures, but at the same time, there seems to be a hesitancy or a maybe just a house cleaning item where we get rid of the old outdated policies. So I think just by nature of our policy and procedure creating talents in the public service sector, we inevitably end up with these processes that are difficult to manage. And so I'm hoping that as we enter a new year, towards the end of this year, Trish, now we've discussed this, we have $90,000 that are budgeted to do a land use code update. And I think we're all hopeful that as part of that, we also streamline the process and make it more user-friendly, number one for staff and well, number one for citizens and for staffs to administer. And in the process, I believe that we can eliminate judiciously maybe a position or two that we currently have salary and benefits for here, and that's up towards the top of the page. Although for planning purposes and budgeting purposes, we're carrying these salaries and benefits forward. There's a few areas, Gabe, I think, where we could potentially reduce the budget, like in subscriptions and memberships. The remaining we have to date, there are $1,600. That's line number 4. And we have 2,000 budgeted next year. So it's, my gut's telling me probably not going to use 2,000 in that area.
Should we make a note to perhaps reduce it to 1,000 or 500? Do you have a recommendation?
If we have $1,600 left and we've only used to date 370, I think 1,000 would be more than enough. I think that's a great idea.
Okay, great. We'll make a note of that and revise this budget accordingly. Thank you.
Gabe. The next one down there that it looks like we have potential to reduce is the office supplies and expenses. We have a remaining balance there of roughly $2,600. We have 2,000 budgeted. Next year we only spent 65. Potentially go up with the hiring of the, I know we're in the process of the county administration is in the process of selecting a new planning and zoning administrator. So maybe there's some office supplies that individual will still necessary. So you probably reduce that amount to 500.
Yeah, I appreciate